and like the physicians will ask us in the office to relay that information like in an empathetic way. But like I don't think we're confident enough because they're the physicians and we're the social workers. Like it's like medical information.
You said you don't think you're empathetic enough.
No, I don't think I'm like confident enough because it's not my, like I'm not a physician. I shouldn't be relaying medical information to a patient.
So take it from the viewpoint of the humanistic side of social work. When an individual, any type of trauma whatsoever, how would you break that to them?
I mean,
Someone comes to you, say there's no physician involved whatsoever, the person is raped, how would you address it?
I would show empathy and just like kind of reassure them that it'll be okay. But I don't know, in my opinion, I just don't think I should be giving like that kind of diagnosis.
Right. So in that sense, I understand what you're saying. I understand exactly where you're coming from. It's not technically a diagnosis, but you are relaying medical information in a sense. Person is pregnant, person's been raped. Person's been raped, you already know that they've been raped. Now you're telling them that you're pregnant. That is technically something that a social worker could do, truthfully speaking. But in any regard, if you don't feel comfortable doing it, it's not something that you should do, so you should let your supervisor know that. But it is something that a social worker could do if they chose to do it. But it's all, like you said, depends on your comfort level and where you are in the profession or in your realm of being a social worker. So maybe you're saying for someone who's just started out, that's not something that I feel comfortable doing yet. Versus 10 years down the road, you could probably do that with your rolling off your back and it's nothing to you. Just depends on your growth. Anybody else with a different type of scenario? Something bad in a sense. Anybody has it? You've been in your place for about a year now, so something crazy that's happened.
I mean, they just started it for like a few months. They cut the after school program and the, the Play and Learn program they said the after school program was for kids to go there, that didn't really have great home lives and, they would eat dinner there, they would be able to interact with other kids, and then they cut that. And then there's all these kids just running around Reading, not having anything structural. And the Play and Learn was cut also with that, which that was beneficial for a lot of the mothers in the community because they would come there and if they needed any help on like getting nutrition for their children, like nutritional facts for their children, getting them enrolled in kindergarten, and it was also a way for the younger kids to interact with other younger kids their age. So that got cut and a lot of people were left.
So, I'll say this as it relates to that. That will likely be a huge issue moving forward. As you know, we have a new administration, and that's one of the programs that they actually want to cut, so after school programs. There's been a lot of talk about it. So, in that respect, what else you guys as a program done to kind of assist the family since the program is cut?
It was really hard because it was our bosses who cut it, and they don't communicate well with the other staff, and they kind of run everything. So there was really not much we could do to assist them. I think my supervisor, if anybody called, she would say other after-school programs that were available, but it wasn't a guarantee that they were going to get in. But yeah, there wasn't much to do because there's no communication really.
Okay. So funding at different levels. The worst part of the scenario is that information wasn't communicated effectively to different people who needed to know what was going on. When you have programs that are cut, you kind of essentially can disrupt and interrupt someone's life at the drop of a dime. A lot of people depend on these different programs. Some for, like you said, food, income. I'm not saying income, food. Could kind of be considered daycare for a working mother who's by herself and she gets off a little later, so I'm gonna put my kid in aftercare. That way, by the time I get off work, at least I know that they're not just out here roaming freely. But moving forward, that's probably gonna be one of the issues that social workers face. So it's it's something to really think about, because anyone who decides to work in that type of field, it's gonna be something that you're gonna be placed, a scenario that you'll probably face quite a bit moving forward, because they are talking about cutting funding for our after-school programs, so. Something to think about, not really much that many people can do. Only thing you really do is on a city level, certain where funds can kind of be moved around to assist with bringing some of these programs back on a maybe limited basis. But other than that, not really much. Anybody else with ethical issues?
I've had a couple situations this year where there's been, in my opinion, a breach of confidentiality and some conflicts of interest. When you work in a school district, and like Reading's a bigger city, but it's still really small, so you tend to work very closely with certain agencies over and over again, so you form a relationship. And I think sometimes when you have those relationships with organizations, you get kind of like lax on what you can and can't do. So like just calling agencies asking about clients' information that we shouldn't be asking for and we don't have clearance to receive. That's happened a couple times in my agency, and my task supervisor used to work at these agencies and has been in the city his whole entire life, so he knows these people, and it's just they kind of nonchalantly like speak about clients, and I don't think that's fully appropriate. So.
Okay. You can choose to answer it or not, but just be honest. I mean, has anybody broken anything ethically since they've been at their field placement? Just
I'm sure I have. I probably, maybe, I don't know. I don't trust myself.
anyone else? Okay, well, I'll openly say I've been a social worker for 3 years, and it happens. And to your situation, that's probably the most common way that it does happen. When people form relationships with different people, you get to a space where you're comfortable with this person, and you say, well, this is John calling me, he's calling me about such and such. We've worked together for the past 15 years. Let me just give you information, even though I don't have a signed release to release this person's information. Ethically, it's not right. And I know I should be telling them as new social workers that you're supposed to go out and do things by the NSAW code of ethics, and that's just the truth. As you kind of transition through time, you may become a little bit lax with that, because everybody, I think, does, even though technically you shouldn't. Let me just say that. You shouldn't, but everybody does over time. And I think it's probably just a slip of the mind in most situations where you just have to kind of slow down and think and determine that, you know what, before I give this person information, I need to go and discuss it with the client to see if they're going to give me the authority to release the information, because truthfully, it can come back on you. So you don't want to release somebody's information and then they decide they want to sue, and especially if you don't have liability insurance. So, any other ethical issues that you guys may have going on?
I don't know if it's an ethical issue or not, but it kind of concerned me. So it actually just happened yesterday. One of the case managers at my internship said that one of his clients who has autism, but he's high functioning, they're gonna Act 21 him. I don't know, or the family isn't being told right away, and nor is the client. They said they don't want to deal with the reaction yet and the fallout from the family, which in my opinion, I kind of feel is unethical, because this client thinks he's gonna move on to independent living, and here he's either gonna get put onto adult probation and be charged as an adult and cause him to register as a sex offender, or he's gonna go to a mental hospital. So I feel like those are two completely different scenarios than going to independent living or to go back home to a family member. So, and of course, at some point, he's going to find out. I feel like as a case manager and as a social worker too, I feel like you should be preparing the client for that,
Right.
especially when it's already been decided he's gonna be presented to the court for that.
What's the reason for the Act 21?
Because of his functioning. They don't feel that he can function on his own.
Right.
So, but he has family at home.
Is he decompensating any?
Is he what?
Decompensating any? Decompensated. So, starting to, lose any kind of sense of reality or anything like that. Is he function, is he high functioning?
He's high functioning, but he's very open with his fantasies and his sexual behaviors, which I guess is the main reason as to why they want to Act 21 him, because they're a client before who was high functioning, but he straight up said that once I leave care, I'm gonna rape again.
Right.
But this client has not said anything about that, but again, he, like I said, he's very open with his sexual behaviors that he necessarily shouldn't be acting on.
And this care is at the lock facility?
It's a step down, so
Step down.
it's foster care, so they have strict rules, but we have like a whole level system in which they follow.
Right.
But it's not residential, it's all outpatient.
Okay. So that means, that's present a different situation. You could let the client know, because like truthfully, like you said, you do want to kind of prepare somebody for the next steps of things, but I would always say in any situation, you consult your supervisor, because your supervisor is going to be the one who you really need to determine what decisions you guys are going to make together. Now, in that scenario, I would agree with you though. I think he needs to know that you're not going to go from this place to this place because, in a sense, you're setting the person up for failure. And you're probably going to end up having a situation where he's going to act out even more based on him not knowing that, no one prepared me that I wasn't going home.
Right.
So, truthfully, the best choice is always to prepare the consumer for what's coming in. But in this scenario, because you are in a failed place, consult your supervisor. As with anything, I think everybody already knows that. With anything, particularly going on, consult the supervisor first. You don't want to get yourself in a situation where you're making decisions and they say you don't really have the authority to tell that person that. I think you guys pretty much know that. That about wraps up what it was that I wanted to kind of present to you guys and kind of get some information, I guess, based on how your placements are and whether you all are kind of, I guess, does everybody feel that they're ready to kind of get out in the field of social work and kind of
I have another.
do your best? None of you?
School, yeah.
Okay.
Doing my
So
master's.
I thought this was, so it's not the graduating class, or this is?
Yeah, we're graduating, but
Okay.
I start, well, there's a few of us that start like at the end of May for our masters, and then we graduate then next May with our
Okay, so
masters.
advanced standard people.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Alright, so, everybody, so I mean, like, for those of you who are not deciding, I guess, to go straight into school and kind of taking a break, are you ready to kind of get in the field? Yeah, no?
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Particularly for you, what's your name again? Sam. So, as a male, what made you decide to do social work?
I was in the Marines,
Okay.
so I dealt with a lot of social workers in there. They helped out a lot of guys I knew, so.
Huge field too, so social work within the Air Force, military, Army, all the bases, everybody has social workers, and they pay really well. I should say that. But for those, you do have to have your commitment. So that would be a good reason to go from one level to the next. And you come into the federal government starting off making $80,000 a year, social worker, I mean, depending on where you're living, that could be a really good living. And positions go up to like a social work supervisor makes about 130, 140 in the government. So
Is it hard to get into the government?
not social work positions because there are so many open positions at this point.